This show is brought to you tonight by, what was his name? Donald Moore Psychic. Unfortunately, we have had to report him and ban him because clearly you didn't see that coming.
Play that.
Hello and good evening. Welcome to the last quarter of today's third show. Wasn't it? But no, good evening. Welcome to the final part of the show. Obviously, we've been with you since 10 o'clock this morning. Thank you to everybody who's joined us thus far. It's been an absolute pleasure. So what we're going to plan this evening is to grab yourself a drink. You will need a piece of paper and a pen for tonight's quiz from our quiz master. Our very own Mr. or Sir Robinson, as we call him, like here, will be taking part in the quiz in a few minutes. So if you grab yourself a pen and a bit of paper, this is purely for fun and all the rest of it. And the other thing as well, don't post up any answers or your ideas in the chat, because that's what happened last time. So everyone was just in the chat putting all their stuff up and the various things to it. So yes, it is quiz tonight. That's the plan. As I said, totally relaxed. Then we can answer questions. General chit chat. The evening one is a lot more relaxed. We're not doing any in-depth questions and all things like that. We'll keep it very light-hearted as a little bit of a wind-down show. So if you've got other things you want to talk about, apart from modelling as well, that's all good. Post up as you go right the way through. Just before we get going, we do have to mention, just to finish off, we've got specials at the weekend. So we've got the PM models. So obviously you get the links via obviously the Freud model site, but obviously the PM site as well, and they're doing the specials. So we've got the specials ones down in here of all your extra discounts on top as well. So have you added any tonight, Matt, Andy? No, okay. No, so these are the ones just from earlier to go through. Some things are starting to sell out as well, so just be advised on that one. So some of those have been sorted out in there. But generally, it's 10% everything from model kit-wise in the store. That's going to carry on until, when is it, midnight?
1 minute to midnight.
1 minute to midnight. This will end. It's automatic. It's an auto thing, all right? And obviously, we've got the specials down there. It's only offer kits and stuff like that as well. So if you want to grab yourself a little bit of a bargain, you can grab those down in there. And obviously, like I said before, you've got your specials area just in here, and you can click and you can see the discounts and the various things that are going on in there. All right. And then obviously we've got on my side of things, on the flooring model side as well, we've got a couple of things on sale. And again, this will end probably just after the show. All right. So I'll give it about an hour. We'll run to about 10 o'clock and I'll close this down because I've got to do it manually, to be honest. I haven't put it on auto. So basically you're saving £10 on a full pack of the big sanders. You're saving around about a tenner on a full set of washes as well, and there's discounts on some of the sanders. It's not on absolutely everything, but if you want to grab yourself a bit of a bargain during the show or just after the show, you can get your deals right there. But again, I'll probably close mine down about 10 o'clock because I've got to do it before I go to bed. Because obviously it's manual, but the PM one over here, these ones will go on to around about just before midnight. Okay, so 1 minute to midnight, all of this will change. The sales stuff will still be around, but the 10% discount on everything else, that will end with immediate effect. All right, so if you want to grab yourself something, that is what you will need to do. Anyway, as always, oh God, hold on, which one? Sorry, we're in 4 mode. Want 5? There we go. There's 5 of us tonight. So anyway, what do we have for dinner?
God, who's going first?
I had fajitas.
Fajitas?
Fajitas.
Very Mexican.
Yeah, I wasn't really that hungry either, so... yeah.
Very good. And John, what was your culinary delight?
Very British fish finger sandwiches.
Was it? Were they line caught cod or, hoovered from the sea?
I don't know. They were... Oh, what's his name?
Finders.
Birdseye.
Captain Birdseye?
Captain Birdseye.
Oh, right. Okay. Very nice. Nathan?
I was going to say Mr. Kipling, but that's...
Yeah, that wouldn't work in breadcrumbs.
Sweet and sour chicken or fried rice.
Oh, was that homemade or did you buy it?
It was leftovers from last night's take.
Oh, right. Fair enough. Hey, look, some of the best leftovers taste better than the night before. And Matt, what did you have?
I've had a Toscana pizza.
Oh, very Mediterranean.
Very nice.
Very nice indeed. Very good. And we trust everybody is all good in the live chats. How are we all doing in there, gentlemen? Hope you're enjoying the show so far with our marathon one. Sorry, some people having trouble with the internet. Are we not streaming? I think we're streaming, aren't we? I haven't even checked. Are we on?
The guys on Facebook, YouTube can see us.
Yeah, I was going to say, we seem to be all okay here. Everyone seems to be all right. I don't know, I was just looking in the chat and people are talking about Edge and Firefox, and I just saw that. That's normally my clue to say something's wrong. Anyway, Dirk's had, what has he had here? He's had Hunt Spot Melt, what? Sorry, it's jumping. That's just not me. I can't pronounce it. Worst, mashed potatoes, stew with carrots, onions, and a nice big sausage. Wow.
Nice.
What's
Lovely.
not to love? Chicken and chips. That's it. The good old-fashioned favourites.
Proper hearty food, that. Isn't it?
Hearty food, proper food. Yeah, pizza and salad. All right, let's not ruin it. Don't have to have salad on everything. So yes, good job.
Dave's had a small slice of cod, or is he asking what it is? Fried in breadcrumbs between buttered bread.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
David
fish-
was asking what fish fingers were.
Oh, got
Oh
it.
right, okay. Yes, can't go wrong with fish fingers. Trust me. Very good, Captain Birdseye. That's it. Look, they're all in there now. Baggers and mash, fish cakes. Definitely.
Hey,
Right.
look.
Okay. So, shall we start off with the quiz then?
Look.
Are you ready to start on this one? So,
Just hold on. Can I just answer this before? Chuck, high altitude hobbies is a completely separate thing. It's nothing to do with us. So no, there's no savings discount unless Brett puts them on, but it's nothing to do with us. As in, yeah. Tell him, Phil. Tell him.
yeah. Sorry, who was asking about it? I haven't seen that question.
Chuck.
Oh right, sorry, Chuck. Yeah, no, Chuck. High Altitude Hobbies is literally just one of my stockists. So I, you know, what they do is up to them if they were doing discounts and things. So it's not, they're not part of obviously with me and with Matt and everything else. So I'm not aware of them doing any discounts or anything else like that. But obviously, if you are in the States, it's the only place you can get them quickly. So, because obviously we can ship from the States, or Matt can, but obviously we can't ship to the EU, which I will mention because a couple of people have mentioned about can they, you know, EU, Italy. I've had one guy this evening. Obviously, at the moment, because of everything that's going on with transport and paperwork, we can't ship to the EU, but hopefully we'll get that sorted in the next week. So, yes.
Excuse me, Tim. Batter cod fingers mainly aimed at children, mainly aimed at kids.
Oh, what? Hold on. Thursday night, I had fish finger butties. Tams, my other half, came home from work after pulling a 12-hour at A&E, and she had it as well. So I wouldn't say they're directed at children. So
I love the fish fingers.
I'll tell you what, if you haven't had a fish finger sandwich for, I would say, a couple of months, there's nothing better, is it? It's one of those hearty foods you eat, and it's like, why haven't I had these for ages? So,
yeah, you're right. They're all mainly aimed at kids, but
No,
we're all
not.
obviously all big
Stupid.
kids.
To be honest, my local supermarket does what they call jumbo fish fingers. They're huge. It's like two Mars bars stacked on top of each other, and it's a fish finger, and it's jumbo ones. They're very nice. Anyway, I wouldn't say they're directed at kids, although I am a kid, so that's probably why I like them as much.
Yeah, exactly. Same as me.
Very nice. Peking crispy duck. Ooh.
Tim says I'll
Go
get
like
that.
Very nice. Right, okay, so we're going to start off with the quiz. So we'll hand over to our quiz master. Sorry, wrong one. There he is. He's down in there as well. So if everyone's got your pen and paper ready, please, guys, don't post up your answers. Oh, hello.
Sorry.
Hold on. I say we've lost him. Hold on.
Ew.
No, he's there.
Hold on.
He's put,
No, I've just lost everybody. Hold on. What are we doing?
Oh.
no, he's put a spreadsheet up. It's all right.
Oh, is he? Oh, right. Sorry. I didn't know we were going full screen. Sorry, that somewhat confused me. Then I had a bit of a panic because I was like, what's going on?
So if I get rid of that, is it still working?
Yeah.
Happy days. We got there in the end. Seamless as ever.
Yeah, so I didn't realise you'd gone full screen. I had a panic then because obviously he just dropped out. I was like, oh my God. Right. Oh, look, second edition. God, this is posh, isn't it?
Right, so here we go. So
I'm going to scribble this on the back of an envelope if this is me doing this.
I think there's 25 questions, I think, and there's a bonus question as well. So space for 26 answers.
Right.
So
Fire away.
there's rules.
Is there?
Yeah.
Since when?
1 mark for every correct answer, and we can't be bothered with half marks.
Right, got you.
There's no prizes, just glory and eternal life for the winner. There you go. So, question 1.
Right.
Ready? You're all set. Okay. On what date was the United States Declaration of Independence signed?
You're joking.
Are you only laugh?
Oh, God.
You can at least get the day and the month, but maybe not the year.
I got tuber glue.
Yeah, what year was it?
Yeah, but if there's no half marks, what's the point?
Yeah, good point. Is this a 2-pointer or a 1?
That's an easy question. That's an easy one, that one. Okay, question number 2.
I'm not there done question 1 yet.
I'm not going to give you enough time to
The
Google
Mayflower was there 300 years ago.
If I give you too long, you're just going to start Googling.
Remember, guys, don't type up the answers in the thing.
I think everyone
In
in
the chat.
America's like, what do you mean you don't know the answer?
Yeah, exactly. If they get it wrong, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yes.
Question number 2.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. In the Doomsday Book of 1086, there were 16 villagers, 8 smallholders, and 8 slaves living in Bovey Tracy. How many pigs were recorded?
Oh, great.
Bill should get this one right then.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, this is where I live. Good job. I know the answer, isn't it?
This is the wild card question to split the clever people.
I can't believe you've looked it up. Oh dear.
8 slaves, though, Craig.
I was going to say, well, to be honest, we've still got 6. We're so far backward here.
I think that's a 1 in 4 chance of getting that right.
Yes, that's it.
All right. So, did the pigs outnumber the villagers? That's what you need to work out.
Well, definitely round here. They still do.
Question number 3. Henry VIII commissioned the Mary Rose. He had married Anne Boleyn. They had 3 children, one of whom survived into adulthood. It's a typo there. What's the name of the child?
Ooh.
So she had 2 stillborns and 1 that made it. What was the name of that child? Anne Boleyn didn't make it, did she?
No. She met a sticky end.
She did have that. Okay, so the name of Anne Boleyn's child. Number 4. Which famous Scot, whose severed head was to appear on London Bridge, defeated the English army at the Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297?
Ooh. Freedom.
Very famous Scot.
Freedom.
Kenny Dalglish.
That's amazing what a moisturiser can do when you're 800 years old.
The blue man.
Right, I'll retract that answer. Rod Stewart.
Yeah. Mel Gibson.
Or is it Ron?
Yeah. Ron.
There's another question for our Scottish brothers soon. Right, question number 5. The sons of Ragnar Lothbrok, amongst others, led the great heathen army from 865 to 878 under the rule of Alfred the Great, which was the only English kingdom not to be conquered by the Vikings.
Oh, I know that because I've seen the series.
So, was it Mercia, Northumbria, East Anglia, or Wessex?
Yeah. See, it pays to watch.
It pays to watch.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime.
I never got it at school, but I've seen the series, so we're okay.
I tell you what, I've watched it right till the end now. It's a good series, Vikings.
Yes.
I feel sorry for your students.
Whose bright idea was it to let a teacher do the bloody quiz?
Well, we're all learning.
Yes,
You
that's
will
it.
learn stuff from it. So yeah, Ragnar Lothbrok, okay. Bit of history for you.
Mm.
Right,
Tim
question
says he
6.
watched it, he doesn't know.
Sailing in HMS Endeavour in 1768 to 1771. What was the name of the captain who was credited with producing the first map of almost the entire coastline of New Zealand?
Oh, I know that one.
I just think so.
Captain Pugwash.
That's the one. Don't mention the cabin boy.
Yeah, with Seaman Stain.
Or Captain Birdseye. Some fish fingers.
There you go. Bit of Anzac inspired question there as well. Right, question number 7. The following are all names of what? So we've got Pansy, Peter Pomegranate, Primrose, and Minion. What are they?
Oh.
No comment until later. I'll give the answer away.
Yeah.
Question 8. Who was the leader of the Medellin drug cartel?
Oh, God.
And if you watch Netflix, you'll know the answer.
Oh,
Very,
see, I
very-
haven't got through that series yet.
God, you on Narcos?
Narcos is brilliant. So he's the main character in Narcos. So we're trying to make it internationally, see if that's the one for our South American viewers.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay.
All 2 of them.
Is that the guy who had the hippos?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. Question 9. Pardon my Spanish pronunciation there. Which river forms part of the border between Mexico and the USA?
Oh.
Is this not a multi-choice answer?
Yeah, I
No.
thought you said these were multiple choice.
Some of them are. It's a big
Mersey.
river. It's everybody's heard of it. You'll know when you hear it. You'll be like, "Oh, I knew that one."
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Is it the Mersey?
Is it?
The River Ouse. Question 10. What is the name of this Australian state? Melbourne is in it. There's a bit of a clip. Let's hope it is.
Oh.
That's quite a hard question, actually.
Is that the one that looks like how it sounds?
What?
If you sort of
Don't give him
turn
any-
it.
Don't give him any blooming clues.
Well, this one over here is like Western, isn't it? So that gets its name from where it is, but no. It's an old one.
Enough. Don't let him know.
Question 11. Which German state has this flag? If you drink beer, you'll know it.
I know that one.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I've got one right. That's it. Die happy.
You can die a happy man now.
Yeah.
I only know from building planes.
Yeah. Question 12. The following lines are recited annually on the 25th of January to honour which famous poet? You have to excuse my pronunciation here. Fair for your honest, soncy face, great chieftain of the pudding race. 25th of January.
Ooh.
I don't know why it's called a pudding. To me, it's not anything like a pudding, but one for the Scots. Question 13. Pu is the chemical symbol for. Oh God. That's a proper university. That's not even university challenge question. They put something way harder.
John Irving said in black pudding is.
True. That's another one. It's not. When I say pudding, I always think of cake and sweets. Right, question 14. Which country is this? Now, Matt should know this because he wants to go. question 15. What year was Italy founded?
Oh, golden penny.
Yeah.
Should we be kind and say within 10-year gap? Or 1 year out? We'll
Yeah, 1 year in it.
do a 1 year out. Or anyone that's sort of within 2 or 3 years either way will be all right with that long. Because what year was it Airfix founded last time? I think. Question number 16. Which kit manufacturer was founded in Lobnya, and that's in Russia?
I can only think of one Russian kit manufacturer, so I'm going with that.
I hope I pronounced it right. I think it's Lobnya. Right, question 17. What's that?
Oh, we can know
That's,
that.
Do you want an actual number as well, or just?
Yeah. It'd be an odd number, wouldn't it? Because it always is with that company. Is that okay?
okay.
What type of tank is that?
Oh, phew.
It's a proper camoed one.
Yeah, that's got a real camo. It's not like, you know, doing a quick job, is it?
I was just trying to think, what is it trying to camouflage against?
The desert.
Yeah, because you often get blue and grey deserts.
Grey-blue deserts.
There must have been a reason behind it.
Yeah. So which country uses this roundel?
Oh,
Ooh,
I knew
yeah.
that as well.
Yeah.
Blimey. And that's a good roundel.
It's a good one, isn't it?
Definitely a roundel.
Question number 20. What year did the YF-16 make its maiden flight? And for a bonus point, what was unusual about it?
I can do the second bit.
What about its maiden flight?
Mm.
Or about the aircraft?
About the maiden flight.
Yeah, I can answer the second part, but I don't know the first part.
It's a lot older than you think, considering it's still in production, isn't it? Still making
Yeah.
Steams. It's a shock when you find out how old it is. As a YF-16 anyway. Question 21. What's that? What type of aircraft is that? The one in the foreground, I'm not that mean. Well, that's not much of a help, but the colour should give it away.
Has he got a bent sprue?
Yes.
Yeah. Got a bit of warpage.
Warpage. Question 22. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk was the founding father of which republic? Clues in his name.
You said there's going to be multiple choices for the hard ones.
Clues in his name. I don't know if very nice place to go on holiday when you can do such things. Question 20.
Bognor? Yeah, Bognor Regis. I never knew he did that.
That would explain a lot. Question 23. Which space shuttle was not capable of space flight because it didn't have engines or heat shields?
Moonraker. Because it's a mod.
Question 20. You don't need to give the number, just the name of it. It'll be all right. Question 24. Nearly out of the woods. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant was actually named after someone. Which Soviet leader was it?
Mr. Chernobyl.
And question 20, it's the Chernobyl. Question 24 is a clue to the chemical symbol question before. Not directly, but it's a clue. And then last question, 25. How many pigments are in the Flora Models pigment set?
Ooh.
No, that one.
And that's it. That's the last question.
Wow. What can I say?
I've just baffled. My brain's fried.
My head doesn't work anymore. I thought it was supposed to be a light-hearted evening. This is getting proper hard these days.
That's the right tester.
I think there's some disinformation going on in the chat when they're putting them up.
There's all the questions about reality TV shows.
Yeah, where's the multi-question part question one?
I don't know. Right, let's go full screen. So, here we go. Question 1. The answer to that was July the 4th,
Way!
1776.
Oh, it's
Oh.
only 98.
I put 1798 on a Wednesday.
So,
No.
to anyone who's not a citizen of the United States, you can get a point for July the 4th, I reckon.
Oh, there you go. I get a point.
But if you're from the United States, you've got to get the. Imagine what your history teachers would do to you if you couldn't answer that in America.
Well, is that the same one that says when was the Magna Carta signed?
Whack with the ruler. Bovey Tracy had 7 pigs in 1086.
Oh, bollocks. I put 18.
I put 15.
I put 15 as well.
Not as many as you think, is it?
I thought, to be honest, the slaves would be outnumbered by the pigs.
Yeah. Right. The famous survivor was Queen Elizabeth I.
Yay! Yay!
The famous Scot who ended up on London Bridge, or a bit of him did, was William Wallace.
Yeah, I got that one right.
No, I put Rob Roy.
Yeah, I put the blue man.
The blue man.
Braveheart. Right. The Vikings did not invade Wessex.
Yay, I got that one.
Got that right.
Yay!
We were too hard for them.
It was Captain Cook.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Got that
To be
one.
honest, he's the only person I could think of.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
These are all ships in the Tudor Navy. They're all sister ships of
Yeah.
the Mary
Yes,
Rose.
HMS Minion.
Got that one right.
I just don't know. H Pansies. It's just a strange name for a ship. The drug leader of the Medellin drug cartel was Pablo Escobar.
That was a good guess.
I couldn't remember his blooming name. That's all proper blank.
Your river was the Rio Grande.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
no, sorry, didn't know that.
That's Victoria. Well, let's hope it is.
Oh.
Oh, was it? I thought it was New South Wales.
I put
That's what I put. No, didn't get that one.
That's the Bavarian.
Yeah, I
right?
got that one.
Yeah,
Got that one. Yeah. Yay!
It's Burns Night on the 25th. So
Hey,
yeah.
Robbie
Burns
Burns.
night,
Thank
yeah.
you for that.
I put Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Guys, are you a famous Scotsman?
I couldn't think of any though.
no. Plutonium.
Yeah.
I put potassium.
Oh, I put lead. What is the thing for lead, Nate?
Is that PB?
PB in it, yeah. I knew it got P in it. I just couldn't remember which. Yeah, go on, carry on.
That country is Thailand.
Yeah, that one.
Italy was founded in 1962. So if you put anything between 1967 and 1957, something around there, I think 5 years out would be either way.
I know I put 1968.
76 I put.
Zvezda was founded in London.
Yeah, because I couldn't think of another Russian manufacturer.
I can, A model.
I
Oh,
was wondering if he was going to be like Novo or something like that.
Yeah.
Right, that's a MiG. But what
Yeah,
number?
it's a big 3, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a
Three.
MiG 3.
yeah.
Guess
So
what
I
I
get a
put?
bonus point for that.
Yeah.
I put a Yak 9.
What's that?
A Matilda.
Matilda.
Matilda. We have Norway.
Norway.
So it's
What
not.
was funny about? What was strange about the maiden flight of the?
He belly landed it.
No, it was an accidental takeoff in a fast taxi.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, but then he belly landed it.
It was 1974.
Ooh.
Oh, I got
71 I put.
1972.
I
Oh.
put 75.
1 year
Oh.
out, and you're all right. That's from the rather fine Meng Fokker DR.
Deal one.
One, yeah.
Ataturk was found Turkey.
Turkey,
Or modern
yay.
Turkey.
Oh,
That was the Enterprise.
It was. That was the glider one.
Chernobyl was named after Lenin.
No.
And
That was a good guess.
yeah, how many pigments? It is 8.
Yay!
That's it. I hope, right? And I hope I got the state of Victoria right as well.
Oh dear. I got a grand total of 11.
12
Oh,
I
what a
got.
proper bust.
Hey, I got 15.
I got 17.
Oh.
I don't know. I just
think
got
I've got
33.
Graham
I've
Robertson's
got-
got 19.
I've got a D minus.
Dave, can you stop the screen share?
Yeah, I'm trying to work out how to do it.
Oh.
Where's the thing gone? Oh, it's there, isn't it?
David Hughes got 26. Tony got 30.
That's not a bad run.
That's
Is
it.
that it? We're back?
There you go. 15. I tell you what, I was impressed with myself with some of that.
That's not bad.
Although I did put New South Wales, so I got that slightly wrong.
I hope it was Victoria. I think it was.
And I did go with 18 pigs. So,
Jack
Luckily,
in YouTube.
luckily the rounder I recognised off the box of me sabre dog, so
CM Jamo 21.
Bad run. And there's no extra credit. I think just for anything more than half marks, I think you've done pretty good.
well done, everyone. A big thank you for Nathan as well for doing that.
Well done,
because,
Nate.
as I say, well done, Nathan. That's great. Jesus. And I thought they were multi-part questions and multiple choice. Phew. Feel like I've had a workout. So, yes. Good job. Well, we hope you all enjoyed that, guys. Very good.
Box art quiz is not a bad idea for next time we do it, actually. Is
Yeah.
it?
We
That's
do
a
what?
good idea. That.
The box
art.
art quiz.
It is.
I'm
Yes.
glad I'm not a student in one of your classes, that's for sure.
Yeah, Jesus. Well, well done, everybody. I hope you were inspired and sorted out your knowledge of HMS. What was it? Primrose? Minion?
Peter, pomegranate, and pansy. HMS
Yeah.
Pansy.
I've been on Pansy for months. I know of HMS Minion, seen details of that one, because obviously for the Minion people and seeing Minion, I didn't know that was a thing. So, yes.
So if they come up in a pub quiz later on in real life and you win a 50 quid, you'll thank me for the hard questions.
Yeah, this is it.
John says, check out the independence signing. I thought it was 2nd of August 1776.
I don't know.
That's it. Google is your friend. Look, we're not having any recounts. Spoilt ballots don't count. We'll have some people saying count. We'll be having some people saying not to. It will turn into, yeah.
Yeah, this should be a regular feature.
You're right, it's 2nd of August 1766. 1776.
Oh, there you go.
So I think they made the Freedom Tower in New York 1,776 feet tall as well, just as a nod to the...
Oh, that's an
It
interesting.
was but it was 2nd of August, not 4th of July.
This is like being on QI.
It is, isn't it? It's like an episode of QI, yeah.
So I went for getting the lowest points.
One of those things where there were some people that weren't there that signed it, so obviously it got signed in a couple of different dates. But you can go and have a look at the place where it was signed in Philadelphia. Worth a trip.
The final draft of the declaration was approved on the 4th of July.
Go. It'll do.
Mm. Who came last on the Flory team? I don't know. I had
Me.
15.
Me,
Was it?
a long way.
About one long way, I got 12.
Yeah. It's not the taking part that counts, it's how you cheated. Yes. English beer is so flat. It depends what if you're on for a real ale. If you're having an ale, then yes, it's not as gassy as perhaps some European beers and things. But
It's supposed to be flat, isn't it? Lager's not flat, but beer's.
well, it's ale, isn't it? It's a bit like ciders, isn't it? Traditional cider's flat, but they've only gassed it out to make it posh. Isn't that right, John?
Make it like pop.
Yeah, good, decent ciders, not fizzy at all.
No, it's just completely flat. That's the good ones. You know that's usually the strong ones as well. They put air in it. Don't need to put air in it to make it gassy and light-headed. Does it on its own.
Have you had any Sheppies lately, John?
No. No, I tell a lie. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, yeah, Joe come back. Lynn went shopping, and they popped in, and Joe come back with a crate full.
Right.
Very good.
Matt says I can confirm alcohol has successfully killed brain cells. Ben says, good cider for Phil and John. God, you're on thin ice here, Ben. Try Black Dragon. It's very nice Welsh cider.
Welsh cider?
Welsh.
I think not. Jesus.
Where's that bang button?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, that's all right. That really nice Chinese Scotch whiskey that you can buy, isn't it?
That's it. Flat cider can be brutal, yeah. That, to be honest, that's how you're supposed to have it. Warm and flat. It works trick. Yeah, we like a bit of scrumpy.
Who was the Lord Mayor of London in 1397?
Dick Whittington.
Boris
What,
Johnson.
the cat?
Yeah.
God, no idea.
Cornish Rattler cider.
To be honest, I'll give him that. Rattler, if obviously, because my other half's Cornish, as a lot of you know, so I spend a lot of time down there, and that's what I drink when I'm down there, because you don't get a lot of anything else as insider choices. And if you
Just
ask
look-
for anything from anywhere else, you get spat on anyway. So it's like, you know.
Russell says,
Oh, right.
add their take P of Welsh cider, Black Dragon cider, 4 times 500 ml, and you're on your back. It's lovely.
That's
I
it.
had some nice Devon cider at Christmas. That was nice. I forget the name of the place it came from.
There's a place up in mid Devon that does a very, very nice cider. I can't remember what it's called now, but it's one of the best ones I've had. It's actually nearer Somerset than it is for me from Devon, but it's very nice, that one. Yeah, so yes. So that's why I'm on the wife beater, or commonly known as Stella, because to be honest, that's all we got in at the moment.
What was the bowl of cider Phil had at the meetups? That was Sheppies, wasn't it?
That was Sheppies we do, isn't it? Yeah.
No, that was Richie's cider,
Oh,
wasn't it?
sorry, that barrel. Yeah. Sorry, that was Richie Cider, which is a very small cider producer just outside of Bridgewater, and yeah, that's good stuff. That's the traditional one where you literally go along with your own flagon and fill up. To be honest, some of my best work I've done drunk at the modelling bench, hence the red arrows. Going back to the red arrow question, I was here with another modeller and got incredibly drunk one evening and ended up thinking, yeah, that's the wrong colour, and ended up spraying it red and came out fine. Just came down the next morning thinking, God, I remember spraying it. I bet it looks horrible. And it was brilliant. Came out really well. I was like, I'm impressed. Old speckled hen. There you go.
Les has put up a question in the chat. What was the first country to invent the rocket motor ejection seat? And it wasn't Germany, because they used compressed air.
Britain.
What? So, wasn't it the
Was it
very
Britain?
early Martin Baker? We have one of our esteemed members works for Martin Baker, hence we got all the key rings.
Yeah.
No, Phil.
Was it the UK? Right, okay. Americans were quite early on the old rocket stuff as well, weren't they? So.
Hi guys, recently reconnected with a hobby and discovered your channel. Looking for modelling reviews. Just have to say that he loves the live shows and find the tutorials very informative. Thank you. No problem. Our pleasure. That's what we like to do with these informal sort of days. It's been quite good today, isn't it? We were saying this
David
afternoon,
says
absolutely
most of his
flew.
models looks like he's had a beer. Sadly, he hasn't.
Everyone's still trying to guess this. Who invented this rocket ejector seat?
Yeah.
A Romanian did something in the 1920s.
Ron again.
Sweden. There we go. Who knew?
Who?
Sweden. Yeah, the Heinkel 219 had ejector seats, but maybe not. Mustn't have been rocket fired. Saab.
Saab, innovators, Saab.
Yeah, they did the
Saab was-
seatbelt pull thing, wasn't it?
Was this salvaged by a compressed air there?
Oh. Don't know.
Are the PM specials carrying on until tomorrow? No, it ends tonight at midnight.
Yep,
Gordon. So
that's it. Grab it.
if you grab it, and as I say, the Flory Models discount thing, that'll end at about 10 o'clock. Then I'll need my sleep.
A lot of facts about ejector seats coming up on our chat at the moment.
Yes. Roger's saying he knew all the answers, but at his age, he's forgot them all.
Yes, good one.
Yeah, they say the Romanian one was like the Wallace and Gromit. Brilliant. Romanian one was compressed air, apparently.
Mm.
Ben's asked a question about flight sims. He's just upgraded his computer. What's a good starter for DCS, and do you need VR?
No, you don't need VR. Trust me, unless you've got a really powerful computer, VR is not the way to go, because you really do need a high-end PC. But generally, if you're starting out in DCS, I would say, yeah. Personally, I'll go with the Hornet, because the Hornet's really difficult and it's got a ton of stuff, and you will learn every single system and subsystem and everything about it. But you don't have to learn it all in one. Just start off learning how to fly it, how to start it up, usual things. Just get proficient with flying, navigation with it. Then you can work your way through the weapons. And to be honest, it gets a bit intuitive. Once you've been doing a few of them, it gets a lot easier. But it is pretty in-depth. But I don't think it's as in-depth as like the A10 is or something else like that. So, but it's easier to fly as well.
The first aircraft.
Is he still looking at that?
First aircraft was the F-102. Fitted with a rocket ejection seat.
This will keep Andy entertained all night now, look.
It will. We've lost Andy.
Modelling done tonight now, Andy, are you?
No.
Yeah, if you want DCS, yeah, Track IR is a really good. It's a little clip goes onto your headphones, or you can wear it on your cap if you wear a cap. It'll track your head movements. Wherever you move your head, you'll look, and it's 6-dimensional freedom, so you can look in and out and side to side. That's pretty much a really good one.
I've got the original Track IR where you just move from side to side or up or down. It doesn't go.
Yeah, well, Track IR5 is the most up-to-date one. You got 6 ones of freedom. So
Here's the thing, right? What has been the biggest impact on modelling over the last 5 years or so? I.e., like tools, techniques, etc. From Daryl. I'd say 3D printing now.
yeah, 3D printing, because they use it for rapid prototyping, things like that now, is fantastic. I think one of the biggest things when you talk to people about if you got guys coming back into the hobby, extra thin glues, because they remember tube glues and how messy they were and I think a lot of people now when they come back into the hobby they're thinking of tube glues, and obviously extra thin's like night and day for a lot of people because it's a clean. Flory standing sticks, there you go. James gets a brownie point.
That's not quite last 5 years, is it? PM Hobbies, that must be a new company. Are they our rival?
First ejection live firing was 24th of the 7th, 46 by a test pilot apparently.
Yeah, was that a rocket ejection though? Was that just because sometimes they use compressed air? I'm sure the star ones was compressed air.
Did anyone ttry springs to eject the seat?
That's proper Wallace and Gromit then, isn't it? It's got springs on it. Doing!
Yeah, the worst spring ejection seat, yeah.
Yes, Chuck, I've flown the Mustang and I've got the Spitfire as well. There's videos on the forum with me flying them as well, which I've put up. If you have a look at the flight sim area in the forum, there's the videos of me buzzing around in them.
Do you have to buy them like on Grand Theft Auto where you have to upgrade and buy your stuff?
What, DCS?
Yeah.
So you get the game is free, so which is really good because you can fly it without paying for it, and it's free. But if you want to have the more upgraded aircraft and the various things, and to be honest, there's loads of them now, then you pay for them. And each aircraft is about 40 quid.
So what can you fly for free then?
For free, you get the MiG-25, the Frogfoot, which actually is a lot of fun, and a Mustang.
Oh, Mustang, that's it in there, yeah.
Well, that's not bad. I thought you were going to say like a Cessna or a...
No. You do those, and they've got full weaponry. Well, no, I don't think the Mustang does, but definitely the Su-25 does. I don't know because obviously I've got the normal one. I don't fly the 2-seat. Does the 2-seat have guns? I don't know if the 2-seat trainer version has guns or not, but definitely the Su-25. It's a good one.
So, how many things do you have on to help you fly it? Or are you completely...
Oh, you're completely in it.
No, but do you get aids to help you fly it? Can you have aids on to help you fly it?
Yeah, you can put on some aids to help you out. Yeah, you've got like an easy flight sim and you can make it up to just being it's you. So you can start off with quite, a docile flight, if you like, and do it.
It's great doing the helicopter with your VR, though. Because the first time I did it and took off, I like grabbed the seat because you think you're like actually going.
My other half, the classic is that I was flying and she was just like a passenger in one of the aircraft. And you do that thing, I was coming up to the runway and I went to brake, and because the front of the aircraft dropped a little bit, she almost fell out the chair because she went forward. Because she was just sort of sat there with a headset on, literally in the middle of the lounge. And then I broke, and because the nose of the aircraft drops a bit, she literally fell out the chair. And then I turned round, got onto the runway, took off, and as we literally took off, she almost threw up. She was like, I can't do that. That was freaky. It just felt like we were flying. I just felt really, really ill and doesn't do heights very well. And consequently, she looked out and was out. I was like, no, and that's as far as she's ever got. She won't do it anymore.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's very good.
David on YouTube chat says, if you're building a model airline that's moulded in white plastic, do you paint the inside black to prevent light showing through?
No, not always.
They should though, shouldn't you? I think that is...
Yeah, we think that's a classic, isn't it? This one here, if you go back and watch the video on this one, because the plastic, it's Revell's plastic, it's quite thin, I was worried about getting that translucent look to it, as in the light's just passing through, because it's white and grey. So I did it the entire thing black to solid it, give it a good solid look. But you think, like when I did the airliner, the VC-10, that just had grey primer on it. So...
Have you done your berry of it, John?
Inside, I've, whacked Tamiya XF1
Oh, right, okay.
inside it,
Yeah.
just in case. I don't think it's, well, you can't see hardly anything. They're tiny windows anyway. And when it's sealed up, there's no light getting in, but I didn't take the risk.
I think it's one of those as well. It depends, obviously, what colour you're going to be painting it. If it's going to be a white plane, you might want to do it to make it solid. But if you're doing it like colours and stuff, I think you're okay, isn't it? But if it also like the plastic, if you get a good quality kit and it's got thick plastic, it's not so bad. But if you get one that's a bit thin, and yeah, you might want to do it.
I mean, I've even done it on the big Sabre dog because there's lots of vents and like louvers that you can see through. I didn't want to risk it, so I just sprayed everything black inside.
Is Phil slurring his words, or are the speakers faulty? I'm out of lip sync, but I have to be, so the other guys are in.
You've not had that many yet to be slurring.
No, not quite yet.
No.
Need a few more. Be all right. By 10 o'clock, I'll be fine.
You'll be asleep.
Yeah, that's it. Anybody knows when I get drunk, I fall asleep. How did the Enterprise turn out? Here, look. There you go. It's all finished. This is all done. Final part will be up on Monday. I'll get it edited and done. I've got to do the final photos for it. I won't pick it. The guys didn't see this, but when I picked this up early, none of it's actually together. But it did all fall apart on me. I literally got it up to show the guys before we went on air this morning, and it just fell apart. So, but that's more for transportation purposes. But yes, it's all done. Very good. I would say I thoroughly enjoyed it, but it looks good at the end.
Les, I've got to say, I'm really tempted to click on that link, but I don't know if I should. He says, check this on the German All Original.
No. Les, no.
Is that safe to click on?
It's a YouTube video.
Can't be that dodgy then.
Next build for me is going to be a helicopter. I'm doing the SH-60 and another one at the same time, probably.
Or the C6.
Or it just might slip round to the other one anyway. But no, I quite fancy doing that one. So, yes. But I do have an F6 on the bench that I built today. No, it's actually it's an F2. Sorry, wrong one.
It's a JU-87 ejector seat trials.
87.
Phil, just thinking, has that Lightning got a refueling probe?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, I could hang it off the back of...
Yeah.
Need a
Cool,
nickname
yeah.
for it. Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, the VC10.
Yes.
Like Jack still sat here waiting for its refueling.
Because one of us was building a Lightning, but I don't think it got very far, did it?
No, did it, Andy?
No. It's ready for paint. It's all done. Just ready for paint. But then it got stalled because
it's not going to go. There's no model shows.
because of COVID, yeah.
Yeah, he thought there's no model shows ever going to happen where it needs it, so...
It's no good talking to Andy now, is it? Because he's just obsessed about these bloody ejector seats, isn't he?
I was watching these videos. It's showing them ejecting things out the back of a JU-87, and half time it seems to be hitting the tail.
No,
They got one doing it off the ground, and it just ejected and then never opened and hit the ground.
Is that like the guy who did the first ever parachute, wasn't it? And he jumped off and died. Wasn't he French, the guy who invented the parachute? Wow. And he actually jumped off a building where it was and died doing it. And you're thinking, so who took over the mantle when he was like, right, okay, I'm, the company. He jumps off and dies, and then the second person's like, well, I'll give it a whirl then. How did that work?
Well, it's like the first person to test a bulletproof vest. I wouldn't have fancied being him. He jumped off the Eiffel Tower. There you go.
Is that what it was, the Eiffel Tower? Jesus. I just knew he was a French guy who invented the parachute, but actually didn't live. Does that mean he actually invented it?
He wasn't around to put any refinements to the design, though, was he? So
no.
It was I think it's that Mark Felton who does the videos on YouTube, and there was one on about the navigation balloons in World War One and the people who shot them down because they had parachutes who was in them for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
A bit dangerous, but it's actually probably more dangerous to attack one of them than it would have been to have a dogfight.
Yeah.
With another aircraft, because you had to get that close to blow them up, you've got a chance of blowing yourself up. They were really heavily protected because obviously they were needed.
Yeah.
And then they baited them in. Some of them baited the fighters in, or who was going to shoot them down and set explosives. So the guys inside would parachute out, and then it'd explode and take the aircraft. It's really interesting, yeah. So.
And that's what you should say. The observers in the balloons were worth more than a pilot, so that's why they had parachutes than pilots did. Just one here. Ken saying, hi guys, I was going to subscribe to Flory Models for my birthday, 2nd of Feb, but new members aren't being accepted. It saved me 40 quid, but any idea when this will be resolved? Don't know yet. As I say, until we can get this thing sorted out with EU VAT and trying to find a way to sort that out, because it's just not cost effective at the moment for us to do it, because it costs me more paying the VAT and a company to do it and the paperwork side of it than it does the subscription. So until that can be sorted out at the moment, we're just not taking any new subscribers at the moment. But we're doing this, so you don't need it. It's fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
Is the spaceship from episode 1? What, A New Hope?
Yeah.
Is that the one with Jar Jar Binks in it? That was from the Into the Darkness. We were discussing this. It doesn't give a number, do it? They don't call it an H type or whatever. What's the official one for this one, John?
Oh, God knows.
It's a God knows. So it's I just know it as it's that Into the Darkness one.
I'm not that much of a geek into it.
Yes, you are. You've got the T-shirt and everything.
I just like watching it.
Oh, right. Okay. Voyeur.
Yeah. Is it? Hey, did it say on the box what it is?
Yeah, no, it just says Into the Darkness. It just says Enterprise NCC 1701 Into the Darkness. So,
oh, right.
But it said when I was looking for references, they've forgotten it's like the D model, the H, but this one doesn't have a number. So it's because it's that JJ bloke that no one likes, apparently.
What's the NCC bit then? Anybody?
Is that like HMS?
don't all shut up at once, eh?
Yeah, that's it. Come on, Trekkies, where are you?
Wait, someone's put it on chat.
I thought John would know that. Do you know
Have
that?
you seen that thing Les Rawson's put up in the chat?
You're not a proper fan, are you?
Nottinghamshire City Council.
Yeah.
I've not got the costumes in my wardrobe or anything.
Yeah, I believe you. Naval Constitution contract.
Yeah, right, okay.
Is it?
Yeah. Sorry,
the US Space Force is the same Star Trek symbol, though, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry, naval construction contract, sorry.
Oh.
Right. There you go.
There you go.
That's in Nathan's next quiz.
Yes, that's right. Keep that for next time.
You said right. That's right.
Write
They
that
did
down.
the Space Force get their logo from Star Trek, but considering Star Trek's in the future.
Well, this is it. Perhaps that's what it is. Space Force.
It's a classic case of life imitating art, isn't it? I think it's good.
Hold on, I've lost my thing now. Where were we? There's loads of questions in here. Sorry, hold on, let me get them again. Hold on, where are we? Guys, what manufacturer has impressed you the most by upping their game in their kits? Tamiya would be out because they haven't always been good, for instance. Like I always say, ICM, I think if you're looking at a company that's gone along, ICM literally went like that and then went that. In one, by taking on one member of staff, they went, you know?
I'd say Zvezda's not far behind.
Zvezda's really come up recently,
Something about the Eastern European stuff, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah.
That suddenly got really good.
Yeah.
Yes. Say, like I've always said about, that's why sometimes I get a little bit frustrated, shall we say, when I do the reviews of Tamiya, because you always expect Tamiya to do something really innovative, and we've seen. I can't think which was it. The Spitfire had like 0.7mm plastic thickness for panels and stuff, and with the magnets, and that was like new, and you thought, oh wow, this is great. So you had scale effect for that type of thing, which was quite good, but they haven't really done anything for years. So
we need to wait till Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Are we all excited for Monday?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, we're all going to sit there at, was it 8 in the morning?
Something like that.
I could be like one of those YouTubers and sit and do a live show for the reaction of it. You know?
Yeah,
I think it's 7 a.m. I think.
Is it? What, our time? Oh, right. I'm not getting up that early.
We're not that bothered.
No, we're not. Don't brace yourself for disappointment.
I'll be up getting ready for work. Pack millions of boxes.
That's
Copper State models.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we like Copper State models. Yeah. I think a few have upped the game really. I thought, there's a few manufacturers.
I think
Even the Panda says, is it worth getting the Kitty Hawk Black Hawk, given their reputation, or should I go for another brand?
It's the only one, really. You can look at doing, obviously, the Academy ones, but they're a bit long in the tooth now. So I think, to be honest, like we were saying, the Kitty Hawk stuff, as long as you do take the time, get it cleaned up, going all the right way and everything, then I think you'd be fine with it. But, the old other ones, they are, say the Academy ones are very good for their age, but they are showing their age a little bit. And obviously, if you want C versions and stuff like that, they don't do them.
I have seen that the Kitty Hawk helicopters are meant to be better than their other stuff.
Yeah, but it's because it's designed by a third party. It's not Kitty Hawk. I don't want to go down the ins and outs of this because I know or spoken to the gentleman in question who does them, and I don't know how much is common knowledge, but needless to say, they were a little bit upset how the Huey came out because it's not what they did. It got sort of amalgamated into some hybrid, but they are responsible. To be honest, they do have their details on this one, I do believe. Let me just check before I make an ass of myself. Let me just check. He has got it on here, isn't he? God, need me gigs. That's it. Can't see. I need me gigs for this stuff. Yes. So it's the Warner's wings ones. So Warner's specialise in all doing helicopters and things like that. So they supply a lot of all the details and everything for the helicopter kits. So that's why their helicopter kits are a little bit better, shall we say, than some of the other stuff that's available. So, but they reached out to me after I did the review of the Huey, saying that they might have their stuff wasn't what came out, and they were a little bit niffed if they're honest. But hopefully, when the 35th scale Huey comes out, that will be what was given to Kitty Hawk, so it should come out correct. So I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't know how much is said out there, but
none of it.
Yeah, Paul says, Phil, I might be wrong, but you don't seem to be a fan of adding lighting to your builds. Why would that be? Because to be honest, Paul, I did it on everything for years and I never use it. So a lot of my stuff all lights up. As I said, we've started back in the day with the landing light system and all the flashing lights and everything on an F-16. Did a 30-second F-16, fully lit, cockpit, exterior, landing lights and everything. I ended up cutting it off after a while because the cables just drove me mad, moving it around. Then I did a Corsair with full fibre optic cockpit nav lights, which was a nightmare, as we all know, completely right the way through. And then I've done other things as well. So the Star Destroyer is fully LED lit and all the bits in that one, which was a lot of fun. What else have we done? Powered engines and various things as well over the years.
Chat's crashed.
Does it? Need to refresh, guys.
Re-log in, it's fine then.
I was wondering, I got stuck on this picture of this spring-loaded.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah,
I
me
got
too.
stuck on that as well.
Go back in.
That's it, we're back in. Oh yeah, look, there's tons under that. I was still stuck at that picture of the ejector seat. So perhaps that blew the system.
They've
So,
got frightening, that ejector seat.
so no, that's it. So to be honest, that's the point. Is like with this one, yeah, you could easily put a lighting set in this would be an absolute doddle because there's loads of room for it. So it's easy to put some small LEDs in the top and you can have your flashing lights. The engines would be a doddle as well to light because you've got plenty of room and you can just put power straight up and in. To be honest, that is probably the easiest one you can actually put LEDs into and everything because there's just a ton of room inside it. Where if you're doing like aircraft and you've got to like putting down sides of cockpits to get wiring back and forth and stuff like that is an absolute nightmare. But again, I think it's one of those things. It's a lot of time and it looks great for the 30 seconds you switch it on, but the rest of the time it's going to sit there not on. So that's why I don't tend to go down that. I've sort of done so much of them over the years and now don't really go down that way. I don't sort of subscribe to that idea.
It's something that's never appealed to me to do.
Not sure what I have in front of you, Phil, on the chat in YouTube, but Jerry Bird's saying, great show, guys. I'm relatively new to the hobby. Wish to build a Beaufighter Mark 6F. Would the hobby model kit be within my capability, or should I stick with Airfix or Hasegawa? No idea of hobby.
Who the hell a hobby model? That sounds a bit of a knockoff.
It's not Hobby 2000, that one that Reebok's has to go.
I was going to say Hobby 2000 is Hasegawa kit. That's good, if that's what you meant.
Sounds to me like it's Hobby 2000 he's on about.
Yeah, well, that's Hasegawa kit.
Yeah.
They do the Beaufighter, don't they?
Yeah.
That I reckon.
That's a good kit, and the new Airfix ones are good as well, aren't they? So. Yes.
Yeah, so you'd be fine with both of them.
I wonder if the Hasegawa might be slightly easier. Build.
I don't know.
The Airfix one, you always have to tidy up the sort of. The Hasegawa one's going to have less issues with any flash and.
Gordon J says there's a guy on Brit Modeler who's fairly convinced Tamiya will announce a P40.
Of course, because he's on Brit Modeler.
But who else has said that they're going to bring out a 30-second P40?
Phil.
Great Wall Hobby, innit?
Great Wall Hobby, yeah. So I think he might be getting himself mixed up with them.
Yeah.
I think so. Convinced that Tamiya will do it is probably more like really want Tamiya.
Are you shaky your head at?
Just prepare. I don't know. It's funny, I don't know what you mean. Anyway, just to answer Peter. Peter says, "What's UK VAT got to do with Flory Models membership?" Basically, we pay VAT on all your subscriptions. You see, so when you subscribe to Flory Model, we have to pay VAT. The long story short is now we've left the EU. The cost it would cost to pay the VAT to Europe outweighs the cost of actually what the subscriptions are. Because, as I say, it's only 10% of our membership is in the EU. So consequently, it's not viable for us to do it because it will cost more to pay a company to do the VAT and all the bits and pieces into Europe than it does for the actual subscriptions. So it's not a viable thing. So we're hoping that they're going to sort out digital because we pay digital VAT for it. So anybody who supplies videos has got a website or a forum or anything else like that, and people subscribe to you have to pay VAT on it, you see. So that's what that is.
Is he from the UK or is he from Europe?
I don't know. So, but the thing is, at the moment, it's not fair for me. I've had loads of people say, but I'm English, you can take me on, but it's not fair that I can take one on without the other. So at the moment, we're just treading water. We've been doing it since December. So literally, we're just not taking on anybody at the moment until we get it sorted out. We're sort of hoping over the next few months it will get sorted out because from this side of digital media and stuff like that for the UK into Europe, everybody's in this trouble at the moment and it's costing a lot. But if I was to take a subscription fee from somebody from Europe and I don't declare it, I can get fined. I can get all types of things for doing it, for not declaring VAT. So it's easier for me not to do it. So what we did, we made everybody who's a European member free. Who was a subscriber in January the 1st when it was switched over. So everybody who was a paying subscriber got it for free and they're all just treading water until we sort it out. So we'll sort it out. It'll get there. It's like everything. It's just taking time to work itself out.
Simon Lund says, do you guys ship to Denmark?
No, we can't.
Not at the moment, no.
Hmm.
We can't ship to any EU country at the moment because of
I sound like a
situations. we're
broken
in.
record, this, doesn't it? I'm getting sick of talking about it. I'm going to be really deadly honest here, because it's like we'd like to. It's not we don't want to. It's just we're not in a position to at the minute, and it's it's just frustrating.
But it's not us, is it? It's the couriers that can't, who have got the issues of shipping over to Europe. So
Yeah.
yeah, and we're in the same boat as people who want stuff shipping over to Europe. We're in the same boat because we've got stuff that we need to get from Europe, and we're in the same boat. So it's not just us. It's not just a one-way thing. It's a two-way thing. We can't get stuff in either. It'll get sorted out, but.
Jerry was saying that hobby one, he meant Hobby 2000, which do a lot of reboxing. They do their own though, don't they?
Yeah, that's a Hasegawa kit.
No, it's all reboxing.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realise they are in Poland, I think.
Are they? Oh, right.
Yeah, they're a Polish company. For some reason, I thought they was out in the Far East. I've got to say, because I spoke to Gary about it at Tiger, and he says no, they're in Poland. And obviously they've got must license obviously for Jimmy, Hasegawa. They do them Taken armour, don't they? So yeah, they must buy the sprues or whatever off them and then box them themselves. But yeah, they're in Poland.
One here. What kit build from your past sticks in your mind the most, and why?
Oh God, I can't remember what I did last bloody week.
Right, John, go on.
Oh God.
As a modeller of some years.
And Matt said I struggle to remember what I did last year, let alone.
Struggle to remember what you finished last year.
I suppose, the big one is going to be when I was a kid with the big Airfix Stuka, and that's why I've got that one to go back and give it another go. Because I wanted one for ages.
Yeah.
It was in the model shop window for ages, and then that Christmas I got it. So yeah, probably that one.
Nate, what about you?
From my childhood, a kit I don't know why it doesn't make much. Is that I built a Matchbox 2-seat Saab Viggen, and I remember buying it and building that kit more than if you ask me the kits I built as a kid, that's the one that for some reason I think probably the camouflage scheme. The reason it sticks out. So from more recent times, I'm thinking it's the kits that fight you. So it's a tie between the Revell 400, which tail is sticking out of the box up there, the Pembroke or the Airfix 48 Buccaneer are the kits from recent years that the ones that put up a fight.
Andy?
From my childhood, long time ago.
In sepia.
Crikey. Tamiya Warthog, I think. Not like I remember much about it, but that's like the kit that sticks in my mind. Yeah, from that age. But but more recently, probably I did a F84. It was the first time I real nailed metal finish. Natural metal finish, and I masked all the tanks off and did it red and blue and everything. It looked really nice. That was a cracking kit that was, until a Flora medal fell off top of me.
Oh, that's it. Blame me. My medal killed it.
Yeah, it fell off top of my cabinet and broke it. Yeah.
Very good. Matt, any ideas yet?
I think from a kid I never owned it, but I own it now, and it's a Sand Scorcher because I remember seeing them in BTs. And I always wanted one for Christmas. I mean, we've been through this before. And the catalogue, get the catalogue, and I always wondered now I've actually got one. So I can't. Do you know what? I can't think of what. I just build stuff, and then once it's done, it's done. I don't really think about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Either it's in a box upstairs, or some stuff's in the display cabinet. But I think if we didn't have the shop, It would literally be in boxes in the garage, and you know, I think my enjoyment out of the hobby is definitely building them, and when they're done, they're done. It's a bit of a move to the next one, isn't it? You know what I mean? I'm not one to be sitting there admiring it and going, you know, really proud of that, because I don't know. I think it's a couple of the dioramas I've done lately are all right, like the truck one, and definitely like the one I haven't finished with the pictures yet, but the half track one that did the wall have come out nice. But yeah, like I say, once they're finished, they're done. So I don't know.
I think memorable for me, from a personal note, I did a commission many years ago for an F-18 Hornet, and it was for a guy, and I didn't know much about it, and he sent me a couple of photos, and it was like, can you do this aircraft? And it was like, yeah. And during the build, when I used to do commission work, you sort of take a deposit and all the rest of it, and you got a rough idea. And as I make my way through the build, I start sending photos so they can see their build as they go along. And, you know, the build would take usually around about 2 weeks. And I was going through and I was gleaning this information back. And what it turns out was that the guy who I was building with was the father, and his son flew that aircraft, who was killed in a motorbike accident. But he wanted a model of his son's aircraft, and that's what I ended up building. But I didn't know that till near the end. And it was like, it was quite a moving one as well, because he was feeding me information and sending photos, because I asked about references and stuff, and it was coming through. But it literally only came out that actually the guy had died, and it was his father wanted a jet for sort of his man cave of his son. And the photo he sent me had a guy, which I didn't realise was his son, stood in front of the plane and all the rest of it. And can you do it like this? And that's what I did. Again, it was that first photo he sent me was a guy stood in front. It turns out when I was near the end of the build, his son was killed in a motorbike accident a couple of years ago, and he wanted a plane built for his man cave of his son's jet, and that's what it ended up as being. So that's probably one of the most memorable ones I did, because it had a real personal thing to it at the end. And normally they're not that personal. You know, you build stuff for ex-pilots and ex-crew and even ground crew and people in the RAF and Navy, US Navy and stuff. But it was for a US Navy pilot. And as I say, because you feel a bit guilty asking questions about it, because you don't know how raw it is. And it was like, oh, well, you know, how did he die? Expecting to say crashed in it or something. And he was killed in a motorbike accident when he was on leave. So only literally down the road from his house as well, but he wanted to have it done. So I think from a memorable part, it would have been that one. So, but it was quite a nice story. And I actually stayed in contact with the guy for a long time, because it ended up where he was showing his friends the model and I was getting commission work from it. So they were saying, oh, could you build this one for me? Because I think it's that group that they travelled in, because he was an airline pilot, his father. He used to be an ex-Air Force pilot. And obviously his son was a Air Force brat who then went in the Navy, and you had that thing. And I actually got quite a bit of work off of him. And to be honest, he was a member until he died only a few years ago. But I gave him a free subscription to the Flory site, and he used to not be a model maker, but he used to enjoy watching the builds and stuff. So you always had this in the back of your head. You got the guy watching you as well. So that's a little bit of a weird one that sort of stuck with me from that point of view. But again, it's a Hornet, and I've built hundreds of Hornets, literally. But that's probably one of the ones that sort of sticks with you all the way through, because again, it's one of those your memory sort of brings up again, because it had a direct personal connection to it. And I've never built, or as far as I know, I've never built an aircraft for somebody as a commission who had died. So normally it's a guy who's flown in it, or it's for a relative or something else like that. But you had that real direct connection to it. It's a bit surreal, but it's a lovely one story to it, and got some great tales from him, and as well, because he used to fly Phantoms. So, you know, and I say, oh, I'm a Phantom fan and everything else like that, and ended up building a Phantom very cheap. So yeah, it was very nice, that one.
Was there the Hasegawa?
That was Hasegawa Phantom, yeah. Hasegawa Hornet F-18C, yeah. So, but yes, very surreal and odd one. And again, then apart from that, you always just remember the horror stories like the Corsair. The Corsair and the resin Colette models Hawkeye. Horrible. Absolute horrible.
It's funny, I bet Nathan will think of this, because obviously doing the Pembroke, like he's finished his, where mine's halfway through, but the sense of satisfaction that you've beat it in it, and like you'll have it with the VC10 and probably the Wessex and stuff, where they're hard kits and they're a bit of a struggle. Well, once they're finished, you've got a bit of satisfaction that you've beat it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, it is.
you know, well,
Those kits tend to stay on the bench for a bit longer as well, and
yeah,
you can get more involved with them.
yeah.
But
I mean,
you curse it as you're going through it as well.
John's gonna have it with his mainstay, aren't you, John?
I think so.
I probably will.
Mind you, you're doing well with that kitty up.
Yeah, that kit, the Saber Dog's fine at the moment. I'm quite enjoying it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still not a shake and bake kit, is it? You've still got to put
No.
some work into to build it. It's not straightforward, so it's gonna look stunning when that's done.
The nice thing about building horrible kits is if you go to a model show, you don't see Pembrokes.
No.
And,
No.
you know, Tamiya release a nice X, Y, or Z, you'll see 5, 6, 10, 12 of them at the next Telford.
Yeah.
And you'll go around and you'll not. That's what's quite nice about the horrible builds is you won't see, like the Mach 2 VC10, you're not going to see many of them actually finished.
No.
That's why they're a bit, the horrible kits are quite nice.
Yeah, when you take them to shows, I think they are a talking point, aren't they? Because I mean, I can see, you know, when we can finally go back to shows, and if the VC10s tips up, and obviously if we're doing the Luftwaffe Sigria and the Pembrokes there, they're going to be people who, you know,
Yeah.
they're a talking point, aren't they? It's not just another 109 or.
I think it's quite nice when you're at a model show and people obviously they look at your model and they know it's a really shit kit. And especially when it's been nicely done, it doesn't even have to be perfect, but a lot of people, you see them and they're like, that's an awful kit, but you've done a fantastic job. I always think that's quite a nice compliment because a lot of people won't even go near it. Like a lot of people won't even touch Mach 2 because it's so much work as well. And, you know, like when I said about doing the Bear Bomber, the 72nd one, a lot of people are like, you need your bumps felt doing that. That's an awful kit. It just doesn't fit and all the rest of it. So it would be nice to take it to shows because people will know it's bad, you know, so you get a certain bit of admiration where people like to see it because you don't see many of them and they know probably the work and the archache you've been through to actually finish the model, which is always nice.
But I think that, you know, when you see competitions in model shows and sometimes you see the judging, and I'm not going to pick on the judges here, but, you know, some of the kits, you look at the little card and it says such and such a kit and you know it's a dog of a kit. That some of them's done and they've super detailed it and they've done a really nice job, and you know you go back later on when it's been judged and it's not even a commended or whatever, it's just overlooked, and say, you know, a more mainstream kit, shall we say, as won.
I must admit that's what I've always said though, isn't it? Sometimes you'll see a crappy kit that's, say, beautifully built but it's not weathered. Yeah, and you know it's just got a nice finish to it, and because it's straight out of the box and it just sits there, the judges, and again not picking on judges because I don't want to do it, but they come along and they will dismiss it. Yeah, actually it's a really technical aircraft to put together, it's a shit kit and it's beautiful in every direction, but they get totally overlooked because there's something over there, and the magpie mode goes, oh look at the fancy paintwork job and it's got aftermarket and that, and sometimes I've said it that how that's got overlooked is beyond me. When it's a really nice, straightforward, you know, but again, because it hasn't got the heavy weathering on it and it hasn't got aftermarket hanging off of it, they get overlooked. And I always think that's a bit of a shame. You know, a nice, you know, a bad kit built well, you know, I think they just get overlooked sometimes. So,
well, that was why Spencer Pollard's Harrier.
Absolutely, yeah, that was a classic.
They should have. That was a real oversight.
Yeah.
That
went into it.
Again, I think that was the point, though. Let's face it, because of Telford the way it was, you got his Harrier there, and you know we all know Spencer anyway. Not being biased to him, but we sort of know how much work went into it because it's a crap kit, and having to do the conversion and the stuff on it, and the nightmare he went through doing it as well. It's not shake and bake. He's a professional builder. You know, he knows what he's doing. He's got the time and everything to throw into it, but he did literally bust a ball to do that one, to make it look that good, and for him to get it wasn't a good outcome, I don't think, because the one that did sort of win it, and no disrespect, but dig myself
it is.
a hole.
I mean, judging again, it's I wouldn't want to do it because I don't know, it's just your opinion, isn't it, really? So
I think judging any artwork is so subjective. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
It's funny because we've got a couple of our members and friends who are judges, IPMS judges, and they'll tell us it's not like how we see it, and they do it from this, and they're given points and everything like that. But we've all been to shows and we've all walked around it, and you often think, like, why is that overlooked and got nothing? And you get something over there that's won gold in that, and it's just because it's such a big bling item. Does that make it better than something that's been very well built and done nicely? And sometimes I do wonder.
I've got to say though,
It's a bit scratchy backy.
Hey, you know, like the stuff for the past 4 years that's won best in show, I think is well deserved to win best in show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say that. I'm not thinking about the subcategories and everything else, but best in show, I think, has been a fair result.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think sometimes we lose mind of what the P in IPMS stands for as well.
Plastic.
Plastic.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes that all right. Let's talk about it. You know, the guy who's won it a few times now does amazing work reskinning in metals, and there's a lot of photo etch involved in the builds, and he does throw a lot. Don't get me wrong, he's got amazing talent. That's it. But I understand, like, to be honest, Andy's saying, and a lot of people said it to me, that's not a plastic kit. You know, because
That's engineering.
It's more engineering, yeah, absolutely. Don't get me wrong; it's absolutely incredible stuff that he does. You know, and I couldn't be anywhere close to anything like that. So I tip my hat to him. But I can understand, because a lot of people, the first thing that I get is like, "Have you seen it, Spider? I don't think so." And I get a lot of that at Telford when we're there. And you know, some point, Andy has got a point. It is a plastic modelling society. So for metalwork to win it, that's more engineering and all the rest of it. But I suppose it's still scale modelling. So perhaps we should change the name.
The thing that got me that year though was we're talking about the Spitfire, yeah?
Yeah.
Which was superb.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But we went up looking around the competition tables, and there was a model there that was disqualified, and the reason given was because it wasn't a plastic kit.
Yeah, I know.
Yet the best in show was mainly metal. And
It was all metal, wasn't it?
It was pretty much all metal, wasn't it? Yeah.
Is there any plastic actually in it?
I suppose the show's scale model world, isn't it? It's not. I know it's run by the IPMS, but it's.
But again, that was, to be honest, that year that was, to be honest, the big point that everybody was making, though, wasn't it? Is that everybody saw that one win it, and then there was that one that was disqualified, and it was all over social media and everything else, was saying the hypocrisy in that decision. How can his be disqualified, and yet the one that won it overall wasn't even technically, shouldn't have been eligible anyway? So, but then again, I wouldn't want to make those decisions. That's the whole point, you know. I've asked to do judging, and it's like, I've no way. I don't enter competitions, as everyone knows. I wouldn't want to judge. I do it for the love of it rather than the sport, so to speak.
I mean, I think on the horizon they've got a massive headache when 3D printing ends up on more people's workbenches. There's going to be awful problems.
But what happens then?
You could 3D print a winning model.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's a big problem, I think, that's on the horizon. So
just to stir the pot of controversy a little bit more, I think.
Quick, mute him before he gets us kicked off.
The judges should not be allowed to enter the competition, whether they're judging that particular category or not. They shouldn't be allowed to enter the competition. That's just my personal. If they're judges, they're judges. Just to stir the pot.
I'm saying nothing.
Nor am I, because my good friend is both as well, and he'll kill me. He's bigger than me. Plus the fact we'll never see a Kitty Hawk model again. I'm just saying.
I'll say that as well.
And I'm not a competition enterer, so I don't sort of engage in that side of the.
Yeah. To be honest, what we'll do, we'll get Tiggs up when we can get back to normal. I'll get Tiggs in. He only lives down the road, and obviously he's both. So, and he writes for magazines. He's basically semi-professional, if you want. He's got a full-time day job as well, but we will get Tiggs in. And most of you know him anyway. He's a member, and he does both. He enters every year, and he's got very close to ties to a lot of competitions. And I know he won't mind me saying he's been judged before because he's entered stuff that isn't even available as a kit yet. So does that make So, because he's had the first runs of them and stuff like that. And, I know we've had people say he shouldn't have entered that because it's not a readily available kit, and he's won gongs for it and stuff. But he's the first one to literally chirp up and say the faults with it and what is and what isn't. So perhaps one day we'll have a proper shit show, and literally, because it will turn into that, trust me. Yeah, look, we're always saying about a bit of controversy.
When we went to Mosson. And the way they judged the competition there,
just table though, wasn't it? Everything was in the competition.
Yeah,
everything's in the competition. But when they were judging it, they'd take the model from the table, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And they had like tables in the middle of the displays, and you'd have the 4 of the judges sat round, and they all had sheets that they were obviously marking the criteria on. It just seemed a far better way of doing it.
You just like Mosson show though, don't you, John? You're a big fan.
Well, I think we all are. It was all a complete eye-opener, wasn't it?
No, I missed it last year, and I'm going to miss it this year as well. And I'm pretty pissed about it, if I'm honest.
I'm a bit jealous of it.
A nice trip to Bratislava again, and
yes,
it really was a breath of fresh air, wasn't it?
Nice, yeah. Like I say, we missed out on that one, the World Model Expo as well, didn't we? Because that got cancelled, which we was going to go to.
Yeah.
Which is, it will happen again.
It will, sooner than we all.
The thing is, as soon as obviously competition comes into anything, I think the dynamic changes, isn't it? Yeah, the gloves come off. And that's, to be honest, why I do not get involved with it. And I get people saying to me all the time the most ridiculous and stupid comments about the reasons I don't enter and your models are no good, and it's all stuff like that. And it's honestly, it's that thing about, I've never entered a competition. I wouldn't want to enter a competition because it literally turns into a bitch fest. And people saying, oh, this should have won it and that was in it, and he knows him and he's his drinking buddy and that's it. And it's like, oh my God, I just cannot be doing with anything like that. I say I do it because I enjoy the hobby rather than going around collecting gongs and prizes and all stuff like that. And the thing is, I'm not being funny. It's the same at Mosson, isn't it? Speaking to people there, they were saying it's so prestigious to win the figure category because that's basically, it's a lot of figures, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Because apparently they get magazine rights and, for box arts and stuff like that.
That was the one we went to Eindhoven, that one.
Sorry, Eindhoven, yeah. And apparently it is so bitchy. It is horrendous, absolutely horrendous. On the surface, it looks very calm, but underneath, it is literally cutthroat. And I didn't know anything about it, so it was all been explained to me. And I'm like, I never realised it was as bad as that. That makes Telford look like bloody kindergarten. But apparently, the trouble is, there's money involved with it as well, because you've got like book deals and, as I say, copyrights. It's
commissions as well, isn't it? Because you get your name on one of the box arts or whatever, and then you get thingied for commissions. Because obviously that site that I follow on internet, the putty and paint one, which is all the figure painters, and I mean the top draw figure painting on there. A lot of them are commission painters, so they use that, I think, as advertisement for the work.
Any thoughts I ever had about entering a competition would put totally out of my mind when we were in Mosson and we were looking around the junior section.
Good section. That was terrible, wasn't it?
It was brilliant.
I say terrible is in amazingly good. Yeah.
Terrible for us, thinking Crawley.
Because it's where we started out, wasn't it? So we go into the show. Don't forget, it's a beautiful. If you've never been, you have to go. It's really, really nice. And we go in there, and the first table we come across, and we're looking at it going, "God, this is amazing, isn't it?" And as we go down, next thing there's a little sign, and it's like juniors. It's like, that's the juniors? Jesus, I give up. I literally give up. I'm crap. But yes, absolutely amazing stuff. So.
There's a question in chat.
I'm not answering any questions about my javelin, by the way.
Well, that was asked this afternoon. You got away with that a little bit. We just said you're starting it again soon.
Yeah, but Ken's asked in the thing. He says, "How's Nathan's javelin?"
It's under here.
He says, "I'm hiding behind the chair, so I'm safe."
It's under here.
Yeah, in the bin.
I've got into a knot with the vortex generators, and I have in my head worked out a way to do it.
Enlighten us.
Because I was drilling individual holes to put the generators in, and if you had one slightly out of line, it just screamed at you, dodgy. I was going to cut a section out, cut a panel out, and then just build it and put it in all the vortex generators in one bit. But it's still a lot of a. I was just hoping Airfix would have one on there. On their 2021 calendar.
Fingers crossed. And your 3D print, just the full javelin.
I was thinking, I was just thinking of just building all the vortex generators on the bench here, and then just cut a slot for them all to go in one go. But I just can't be bothered doing it, to be honest. It's like one of those things. It's on the list, but I want to build my DR1 next. I want to get that up. I want to get the Mary Rose off the bench and get the DR1 moving.
Very nice. It would be nice to follow on with that one.
Just going back onto Mosson, if anyone gets a chance to go into Mosson next year, because we'll not get this year, will we? Obviously, it is a fantastic show, isn't it?
It's one of them. It's a bucket list model show, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you stop in Bratislava, you can literally get a taxi from there to the Mosson show, which is obviously in Hungary. Brilliant show.
Yeah.
For me, it's that and Shizuoka in Japan.
The only reason Andy likes it so much is because, as we were walking around the show, it's one of the few ones you get offered cards to a strip club.
I remember that.
I must admit, you don't get that in UK shows. When on the continent, I think I'm very liberal, but the ladies come up to you and offering cards to their local strip club. So,
would you go to a strip club in Telford?
Yeah, that's it. You don't get that when you're doing the Bolton show, I tell you.
And if you stay in Bratislava, they've got an absolutely fantastic ice cream shop, haven't they?
Yes.
All right, okay. I've been to Bratislava, and when the first time I went to Bratislava, beer was 10p a pint.
I'm not being funny. We sat in that square and drunk most of the afternoon, and the entire bill only came to like 30 odd, whatever it was in our money, wasn't it? It was peanuts, because I thought we had somebody else's bill.
Yeah.
So it was nothing.
And I can highly recommend doing the day trip to Vienna on that old Russian hydrofoil.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I saw a thing the other day. I forgot I was going to save it. It was on YouTube, and somebody's converted one of them into like basically a motorhome.
Oh, floating hotel.
No, it's on wheels. They've taken this thing off and put it on wheels as like a motorhome. Because I'm looking at it thinking, that looks just like... And then it went on a bit and it had. So, yeah, he bought it and he's put it onto a chassis and drives it. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, but that was massive.
It is. It's huge. It's literally a freaking home, literally like a giant Winnebago. So it's like very clever.
John the Panda says the political scale model judging is so toxic here in the States. It's fair, we know her.
Yeah.
Scale model judge in the States.
I just think for some people it brings out the worst in them.
Yeah, they probably. Yeah.
Some people should not do it because it turns them into quite nasty, horrible people. But there's a fella who I know of who enters competitions at every model show he goes to, and if he doesn't win, he goes home a very unhappy bunny, and it ruins the model show for him because he's not won. And so he is that sort of nitpicky. That's the wrong colour. That's that, and it just doesn't. It's not what I'm in the hobby for. I mean, if people are, that's fine. It's the hobby means a lot of different things to different people, doesn't it? But it's just not for me. Hobby to relax.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it is what people get out, because I know some people who literally build a kit for a show. It might be 6 months because they're building it for, say, Telford. Yeah, let's face it, most of us know people and they build a model to display at Telford, and they'll start it and they'll go through, and it's always the last minute panic to have it done for Telford. But if you do, I think that's up to you. It's just not for me. I think my competitive days have gone. So,
But even though you've never entered, you've won before, haven't you?
yeah, but I didn't enter it, did I? I just won it.
No, exactly, no.
Because I was the only
Still-
one. I was in the wrong category for under sevens. But only fools and horses because the paperwork had an old thing and it said age 14.
Hey, do you know what? In the South Yorkshire Air Cadets modelling competition, one of the civilian instructors used to enter his models. Because I used the judging, and he was convinced these models were that lot better than all the other ones that were just stuck together by 12-year-olds, and I just don't know why he ever did it. But competitions and like, mind you, we've got a prize winner on the Luftwaffe Sig. We got a rosette, didn't we, Andy? With your one.
Yeah, but I never entered that, did I? It's a laugh to me, to be honest with you. Yeah, because tell you what is even more a laugh is because the canopy came off when they took the model there. I stuck it on and get some super to go on the canopy, gluing it back on. Yeah, and it still won a rosette.
Yeah, with a blob of super glue on the canopy.
Blob of super glue on the canopy.
To be fair, it was Mr. Magoo who was judging it.
It always makes me feel good because it was sat next to Phil's 262 at the time on the table. So.
So he obviously wasn't a Jet fan who was marking.
We always thought there's a conspiracy in the Tornado Sig that tornadoes never win prizes. It's always like prop aircraft that seem to do better at model shows than jets.
And like mine, because mine was the Harrier, and I actually gave my Harrier to another stand because they were a bit light on stuff. So I said, well, that's all right, you can have my Harrier if you want, because it's a big one. And then it won Best in Show. And it's like, the thing is, it's like, okay, do they think it's somebody else's? Because it wasn't on my stand. So I have that in my head that thinking, because obviously they didn't know it was mine because it was on the other side of Telford. And it was like, consequently, I'm thinking, now, was that because they thought it was someone else's who was perhaps on the stand and they didn't realise it was mine?
Clint, yes, we're still in lockdown. We will be for about the
Clint,
next.
we're still here. That's why we're here, look, holding on to my warm beer.
Well, there's a government announcement, I think, next week about if it'll be extended or not. I don't know.
Are we officially in lockdown until middle of Feb?
Yeah, but there's a meeting to decide if we can come out of it or not.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it?
No.
I don't know. I bet. Getting a lot of modelling done in lockdown though, some people, aren't they?
Out of the five of us, who's the best modeller? That's easy, that's Nathan. Because he does teeny tiny stuff and I wouldn't go near it.
No.
He's a madman.
I think we've all got. I like building. I like sanding. Goes right down my.
You must do with some of the stuff you tackle. I love sanding and
He's the
filling.
only one that sits at his bench every night and does model.
Yeah,
We
he is,
be
yeah.
on, just yapping to each other, and he's always there modelling.
Like then now I'm polishing this Spitfire ready for decals.
Like it's now.
Yeah, look, he's modelling now.
Yeah.
You see what he's like? His dedication, that's what it is.
I like to buy them and start them.
Research them, Andy, I think's the word.
Research them.
I must admit, mine is when I get them into paint. Final part, when you get them into paint, where the sanding, the filling, rescribing, everything's done, primer coats on and you're happy, that's the bit where I like, because obviously you're into the painting stage and the weathering and all stuff like that. That's the bit where I like. The actual construction, which is funny when you're a modeller, isn't really my bag. I like the painting and weathering. Oh, what happened there?
I don't know.
What happened there?
I have no idea. It's never happened before. Everyone just went and then came back.
It just went. Bloop, and
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
hello.
on YouTube as well.
all the lights went out.
Hey, it's YouTube, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, because we're watching on Skype, but it went off on Sky. We also went off on YouTube as well. So
Power
Ooh.
surge.
Blip in the system.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like weird because when I gave the Merkava to Matt, he did things with that Merkava that I never would have done. So it's kind of all got our different.
What, finished it?
Finished it. Like that anti-slip texture and got the finish of that Merkaba to a place I'd have never got it to. I think I'd have just sprayed it.
And it's a bit like Gollum, isn't he? He buys a kit and it's, oh, my precious.
You can see that when Matt starts asking for kits for the auction, Andy just goes, "Don't look at me."
Yeah.
I must admit, my worst part of a kit is going to be, Monday, when I've got nothing on the desk. Because I do this thing and it's like, I don't like to have nothing on the go. Because you've got that, like, I've got to start now. When you're like halfway through in that, I'm sort of into it and you're moving through. But that's normally why I have 2 kits on the go. So I've got one getting close to finishing and then one to build. But when you're starting off, it's like blank sheet. You've got all that sort of, expectations and various things of how it's going to come out and how it's going to be. And you're like, I don't know.
The thing is, with you though, Phil, is what you're gonna build.
Mm.
The problem is I'm so indecisive because it's like, I could do that. I've got an idea to that, and then but then I could build that. Do you know what I mean? And I know what you mean by if you've got a couple of kits on the go to keep them rolling.
Yeah.
So you don't have to make that decision kind of thing. If
you're just adding one in, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you kind of finishing one way halfway through another, and then when you've got a blank thing like desk like you've got, then no. Can't afford to bits then because it's just that I don't know what I'm going to do.
I can't make a decision.
So my worst thing is like I started this Matilda, which to fair is 9/10 finished, and I'll get it finished, but I need to crack on with my Arado. So I'm wishing that I'd not started the Matilda, then I'd be halfway through the Arado. And that's a massive build, the Arado is, because I've got to build the catapult for it as well. And now I'm thinking, have I got time to finish the do the catapult? Shouldn't have really wasted the time doing the.
Got distracted by the Matilda.
And it does, yeah.
Right? Yeah, but the 60s has got a couple more months than the C60, hasn't it? So.
And then a couple more months soon, sort of ebbs away to a.
Yeah, but I'll build it.
Yes, I've got a couple of hours.
I'll build a 70-second Sea Hurricane or something if I have to, just to.
You don't do 70-second though.
Oh, we'll do. Forget just to get that.
Put one through.
Yeah.
No, I think it's one of those ones where if you've got a few things on the go, it's easier because you're just rolling. And it's better to say you get to that blank thing and you start, especially where there you are, 2 halves of the seat going together. You're a long way off. So
I know what you mean with that. I don't like starting a kit because I'm with you with that. Yeah. I tend to rush the first bit and then
you drop into it.
Calm down a little bit and then
that's right.
It's like you get into that sort of thing when you're a kid, building it, need it finished.
Yeah. Like, I think that's what it is. Yeah, you just want it together. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to just take a step back and just slow down a bit.
Yeah, go methodically through it all. To be honest, my biggest job, and it'll probably be tomorrow, is to gut this because I've got a pile of cardboard boxes over there. I've got the review stuff all literally across the floor here. All of this, which you can't see, but trust me, it's like a student flat. I've just pushed everything that way. So it's just a massive junk all over there. But I am going to get in here tomorrow and literally go through it. And as my other half has been writing in the dust and everything, I will need to literally go along and dust everything and sort it out. And then I can do the final photos for the Enterprise. I'll get my sheet out and the various things. And once we're clean and get that done for the final part on Monday. So, yes, definitely.
Cool. Just quick, John Ashley Smith says, the River Council's criticised my paint jobs for being too light or the wrong shade. They just reply, weathering and scale colour doesn't help, but feels good. I mean, we've had a friend who was criticised on a build that he did, and somebody said it should have been brown instead of green or green instead of brown.
Yeah.
And the only photo of the particular aircraft is a black and white photo from the Second World War.
Yeah.
And someone was saying it was the wrong colour.
Yeah.
In fog.
Yeah. And you just avoid that fella every time he comes.
To be honest, you do. You get people and they get so, I think, down the rabbit hole with certain things, and colour is always going to be that tricky one because we've had people come up at shows and say, oh, I think you're fine. It should be this shade and it should be that shade. And they are so focused onto that. it drains the life out of you. You just lose the will to live. And it's like, why would you be so het up? At the end of the day, it's done, it's painted, it's finished. I'm not going to change it, you know? And it's like, if you're happy with it, like I always say, you know, at the end of the day, if you're happy with it, it doesn't matter. I don't give a crap what anybody else thinks. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most people know that Nathan runs the Luftwaffe and we all build for the Luftwaffe because he twists their arm and tells us we've got to. But the controversy you get over RLM numbers, colours, it's ridiculous, really, isn't it?
It is, and then it's like I just got bored of it. To be honest, I was agonising over what's the correct shade of this, that, or that, and I'm just at the end of it. I just thought, I just don't care. Just, as long as you ballpark.
As long as you're happy with it, does it matter?
Yeah, there is that.
But there is an element.
There is that famous person that we all, as soon as someone sees them, we all duck and disappear, innit?
Yeah.
Don't know what you mean, John, as I'm from the toilet. I'm just going to speak to this person over here.
Yeah.
Speak to my colleague, John.
Yeah, I've got a niece who's just qualified in film production. She works for the BBC now. And she was on about colour toning. When they're filming stuff, the colours you see on the TV are not the actual colours they film, they tone it all.
Yeah.
And Chernobyl's like a classic example. They had a really restricted colour palette. When I built my T-34, I tried to do that, and it meant the colours are not right, but the model looks good.
Yeah.
So you kind of pull your blues and your greens and all your browns towards each other for a restricted palette, and I'm actually moving away from colour accuracy to just make it look a bit more
artistic.
Because if you watch Band of Brothers, everything's dead muted and washed out, and it looks right.
Authentic.
Yeah. And again, though, you've got that thing, isn't it? It's like, you know, we say armour especially. I think I love that faded look that armour has, and like the strong panel lining. And I've never seen a tank like it in my life, but I love that look. I think from a modelling point of view, where they're bleached out and everything, I think it looks fantastic. It gives all the details on the tank just pop, and it gives it a weighted look and a weathered and a battle-weary look. But I've never seen one like it in my life. But it doesn't make it wrong.
You know, like.
I think aircraft modelers need to go that direction, because I think it's the aircraft modelers that get really knotted about accuracy, and the armour modelers seem to be somewhat more artistic with their painting. So I'm thinking I might try it on. I mean, these colours are not right. I've got colour chips here, and they're all three colours are wrong. But I'm just like,
I think though, to be thinking with the aircraft and the armour. And again, I think this is probably like the way you weather armour. You know, when you build it up in the layers with the mud, the dust, the chipping, you can't do that with an aircraft unless you're doing a derelict one. And I think there's a massive difference where you can make the armour look heavy, shall we say, with strategic painting and weathering and stuff. I'm not saying like plastering it with stuff, but and an aircraft, and that's why I've gone on for aircraft modelling, because I can't get out of the weathering side of an aircraft that I can on armour, and that's why I've switched back to doing armour, which I enjoy because I kind of know where I want to go with it, and I can't achieve that with aircraft.
It's a bit of plastic with paint slapped on it. Get over it. It doesn't matter, does it?
This is fine. I'm talking about here, Mr. Buller.
Yes,
all
that's a
that
bit.
sort of zenithal highlighting stuff and colour toning. If you apply it to aircraft, I think if you did a Spitfire with that sort of muted colour toning and zenithal highlighting, nobody seems to have done it.
No.
There you go. I know what I'm trying to get at. Textures. It's all about textures.
Yeah, of course it is.
Aircraft don't really have them because they're not supposed to, because they're smooth. Where obviously, like I did with your Macabre, it's got anti-slip. You're adding texture, the mud, the grime, the chipping. I mean, it's all what Finger preaches about on his channel, isn't it? Oh, night shift and stuff. But it's true, and it's like something that's kind of sunk into me now. It's like that what makes it look heavy and really, you know, the textures of the armour plating. Stuff like what you've done with the Matilda. And aircraft don't have any of that, really, do they? That's the, I think that's the problem.
I'll say it now after a glass of wine because I'm
Go
feeling
on, say it, John.
There he
Go
goes.
on, John, say it.
But these experts that you see going around criticising everything, they shouldn't be allowed in the model shows because they're not modelers.
They're usually not,
Because
are
they've never completed a model in their bloody life, have they? They like to go around criticising everyone. But you turn around and say, right, you show me yours that you've done, and then run a mile.
Which is very true, because most of them haven't done it, as you say. Or they've built one that they've been carrying around for the last 10 years.
So bound up in their little, like, perfect model world that they never build kits.
Yeah.
Or they never finish them.
Yeah, perfectionism. I mean, that's the classic. If you make a mistake on a model, you zone in on it and you know it's there and it bugs you and nobody else notices.
No. I've always said, isn't it, from a modelling point of view, you are your worst critic because you know where all the faults are. So I look at mine here, I know where all of those faults are. Will anybody else see them? Probably not, but I know they're there, and to me, they stare me in the face. But I'm not that worried. It's not that I don't care, but I think for the amount of time that I have to do it, that's fine. And like I always say, because people say to me, well, you're a professional modeler, it's your job, you get paid to build it, you could just do it and do it complete. And it's like, well, it doesn't work like that in the real world, because I build, I don't know, sort of 12 to 15 models a year, plus all the little things like this on top. So I've only literally got around about 4 to 8 weeks on each model to get it completed and out. So I haven't got time to spend a year building it like some people do, So that's obviously the thing as well. You can do limited by the time you've got. And it's like people who've got full-time jobs and they work as well. They might only get an hour a week at the bench, Yeah. So it's what you can do in the amount of time and what you're happy with, isn't it?
Shall we answer a few more questions?
Yes, go on then, and then we ought to go because it's 9:30.
Richie Howie says, guys, can I thin Mr. Surface 1000 with X20A?
No. Need lacquer thinners.
You can do it with X20,
Yes.
which is a lacquer thinner.
No.
No,
X20 is enamel.
Oh, an X20. Sorry, it is, isn't it?
It just doesn't have a number.
It doesn't have a number.
Oh, does it now? Yeah,
Yeah, you want either the buff top or the orange top, Tamiya, or lacquer thinners in different flavours. Which one would you like? So we've got lots on the shelf here, all available from a store near you. Sorry, in order. That's it. There we go. Other thinners are available. Yeah, you need a lacquer thinner. All right, okay, they're not.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Tamiya lacquer thinners, or in 2 different flavours. Is it orange top or buff top, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, the buff top's not got retarder in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or the 3. There's plenty of other lacquer thinners around it. What was the other one I just saw? Crikey. Someone's asking. Keith says, how do you guys get your mojo back, modern mojo back, and find it difficult to get motivated at the moment?
Do you know what? Don't fight it. I think it'll come back.
Yeah.
Just the more you stress and thinking about it, the less it's likely to come back. Just go into something else and you'll get inspired by something. You'll either watch something or see something or read about something and it'll come back. I think people,
you worry too much.
About.
I think people worry about it, and that's the whole point. Just don't worry about it. Get inspired.
Yeah.
Again, I think, as I say, selling our own thing here, but Flory Models in the forum, just looking around, seeing what other people are up to, have a break from building yourself, just follow along, YouTube, the usual suspects and films, and you'll get sort of inspired into it, and you come back to it. So
I really struggled last year for about 4 to 6 months last year. I really struggled, which is why I've got 2 262s down here. I've got a 109 up there. I've got lots of half-finished kits that I started doing, and I just lost mojo carrying on doing them. And what did it for me was I did an Airfix
P40.
P40, yeah, just easy build. Did it straight out of the box. Yeah, went together really nice, and it just just got mojo back. Just went for something simple. And it just like, it's like really did help me. Got me going again.
That's what. If it's a kit that's killed your mojo, well, do what Andy's done.
Oh, hello.
What's good with the
I don't know.
internet?
The Matrix is playing up tonight.
Yeah.
It's,
If it's a kit that's killing your mojo, get rid of it and don't feel bad for not finishing it. It's a lump of plastic with paint on it at the end of the day, isn't it? So, yeah. Otherwise, I think maybe you just have a month away from the bench. You'll come back fresh.
Exactly, that break will do you some good.
I think a break does help. And not being funny, even from us, isn't it? We have holidays and breaks, and we do this every day. So almost without it. And it's nice to have a week away sometimes and have a break, reset your batteries, come back and go at it. So don't be, as I say, if you have a month off or two or something else like that, but you don't want to get burnt out. I think burnout's one of the worst things, because when you get burned out, you just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get to that stage. That's the whole point. It's something I've learned of doing this now for 20 years is that when I'm building and it's getting to that point where it's beginning to grate, that you don't want to do it, you're stuck on a model or something else like that. If you get too far into that, it's really hard to come back. So it's easier to say, look, I'm going to start something else, something I want to get into. And that's why some of my builds are a bit random, because I look at people say to me, why have you built that? Because it's a break. Need something as a quick mojo build just to set everything up again, especially if I've come off the back of the big builds I do. That you do something just out of the box, quick, simple build. Nice. Get your goes together, paint it up, you're happy, then you can go to the next big project.
That's where 72 scale.
Absolutely. 72 scale. I'm with Nick, because that's why I did the Hurricane. Breath of fresh air. Loved every minute of it.
You get because every kit's got milestones where you get your progress, and that's the progress that gets you your mojo back. And a 72 scale kit will get through those steps a lot quicker.
Yes, definitely.
72 scale one does.
Yeah.
Roger says, starting to build the Rebel Phantom. Should I spray it black first, as I want the British version in flat white? Great weekend so far.
Did we do a white Phantom?
That's what I was thinking.
Underneath.
Oh, underneath. What, the navy one?
Was it white? I don't know.
We've all built a Phantom, yet none of us can remember. Yeah, it's white underneath, isn't it?
Yeah, it's white underneath, yeah. Grey on top, isn't it?
I wouldn't, well, we did.
Just to finger, this is Skype that's playing up, because I've just kind of nearly been kicked off saying my internet's no good.
Oh, is that what it is? Well, to be honest, we have had Skype running since 9 o'clock this morning. So it's...
I was going to say, I think it's their int that we've been on too long and it's time to pack it in, I think, and call it a night.
It probably is, because we have been on this. So it's been running since 9 o'clock this morning.
So
yeah.
Because you've not just come crystal clear, you've been sort of fuzzy and all sorts looking at my screen, and now you're absolutely pinned sharp.
You know why?
Again.
Because the rest of the world's coming on Skype now, isn't it? And using the internet.
I don't know.
Colonies are on.
David, live chat is on when the shows are not on. You can use the live chat at 24 hours a day. Yeah,
the chat room in the Flooring Model site's open 24 hours a day. Yeah, you can use anytime if you find people in there. So, yes, good job. Is there any other important questions? If not, we ought to call it quits, guys.
I think we're back good.
All right. Anybody else got anything important? Can I post up a link to my sim forum I make 3D models and skins for? Go on then, Russell. I'll give you a free plug. Post it in quick before we lock it down.
That's it. We're off. See you later.
That's it. I think they're all getting worried John was going to get leery for a minute, but it's all right.
Just quickly in our chat, Danny H says, can you guys advise me on this build? I have a Tamiya 135th Mark 1 Tiger, early version, and I want to do the box top in grey. There's a lot of webby things that say it should be yellow colour. No, the later ones are yellow, early ones are grey. What should I do? Yeah, early ones are grey, later they went on to the yellow. So what's a good grey?
63, Panzer
3, yeah.
63 is German grey, isn't it? Panzer grey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, say before, I don't know what the exact date was, but before sort of like 1940, whatever, can't remember what it is.
43 they changed
43, wasn't it? Yeah.
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 Went from everything was great to a certain stage, and then they told them to do everything
Yellow.
There is another quick question. It says from Andrew Thomas. This is hi Flory team from South Australia. Just your thoughts. So, how much should one rely on aftermarket and photo etch to produce a good model, considering it can add a lot of expense to the kit?
It's a loaded question, isn't it?
It's it. I think at the end of the day, like I'm guilty, if you want to say, like B17 classic example, I threw a lot of photo etch in it. We have photo etch for the insides, we have for the tail, for the radio room, for all those things. Can't see any of it.
Can I just answer this one? Get yourself a mask set.
That's it. T-shirts are available soon. Yeah, and to be honest, he is right, because I did get a mask set. The only thing I didn't have for that kit when I started it was a mask set, but I certainly did by the end of it, because there's no way I was going to mask all that by hand. But yeah, I think, you know, I always do this thing about, are you going to see it? So from a bang for buck point of view, how much difference is going to make to your model? So if you've got a particular area of the model, I don't know, wheel wells, say you are into wheel wells and it's got no detail and you want to put a photo etch set into that one to liven it up, then obviously knock yourself out. But I know, you know, like I always joke about rudder pedals. I never bother with rudder pedals. Yeah, all the Edard ones come with an Edard photo etch photo pedals and the loops. Never used one in my life. Well, I did. HE111, the only time I ever used it. Because you can't see them. Don't bother.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can take you down a bit of a rabbit hole aftermarket, can't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think just use what you can see and obviously what you can afford as well, because it is, you know, say it gets expensive, you're going to throw everything at it. But just think what you're going to get bang for the buck. So I always say colour instrument panel. If you've got an aircraft where you can see it, is always a nice touch. Maybe an aftermarket ejector seat with harnesses on it, things like that. That's a nice little one. But modern kits now are getting that good. You don't really need them. Mask set, definitely. But yeah, just use what you're going to see, really. But again, personal choice. Some people want to throw everything at it. So fair play, isn't it? Horses for courses.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, shall we call it a night?
We'll call it a night then. Wait, I'd like to thank everybody who's been with us since 10 o'clock this morning. Well done.
Yeah.
You're knackered as we are. I must say I'm flagging a bit. I'm losing it here. So, but anyway, it's been an absolute pleasure. Obviously, we're going to do a few more of these throughout the year as well. So keep an eye out for us. We will be back. We will be back on next week as well. So obviously, we've got the Tuesday show. I'll be on with you. We're doing P&M on Wednesday.
Wednesday we'll be on. Yeah,
Wednesday we'll be on. We'll probably be back with you Thursday night and then Friday again, as always, as we make our way through. Monday, I obviously have the last part, or I think it's going to be the last part. I haven't edited it yet, but it will be. That'll be up with you for the Enterprise as well. So that'll be on. And also I'll get the reviews done. So I'll edit this one that you watched this afternoon. I'll get that done properly. But also I'll get the Tiger Moth done. We've got the Tally-Ho Spitfire and also got a ton of other kits over there as well. We've got that SU-57. We've got the Valens thingies. We've got Europas. We've got everything over there as well. So over the course of the week, I'll get those edited and sorted and put up onto obviously social media and on the Flory Model site as well to make our way through. But anyway, massive thank you to the team as well.
Can I just say thank you to everybody who's purchased off the PM site today?
Yes, don't forget, it's still running until midnight.
Yeah, you've got a couple of hours left to.
So all the stuff from the PM store. So pmmodelsuk.com.
Yeah.
For all your modelling needs and everything. So you got 10% off, plus obviously the specials ones we've seen before. The store for obviously the Flory Models one, I'm going to close that down in about 20 minutes. So if you want to grab something after the show, grab yourself then. And obviously that will come to an end as well as we make our way through. So yes, definitely. But good job, team. Well done. Congratulations, everybody. Knackered now. I need a coffee.
Yeah.
Very good. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Pleasure as always. We will see you next week. Don't forget to like. Give us likes. Don't worry about subscriptions. We're not worried about that. But give us a like on the old thing as well, because obviously I think that helps with an algorithm or something, apparently, don't they?
Something like that.
So yes, very good. Anyway, say good night, chaps. We are out of here. Please take care of yourselves. Stay safe. We'll see you all again very soon. Bye.
Bye.